Chapter 1. The Praise of God. Couplet 2. That lore is vain which does not fall at his good feet who knoweth all. All knowledge and wisdom are meaningless if they are not rooted in devotion to the divine. True wisdom is not about worldly achievement or intellectual pride, but in surrendering one's knowledge and actions to the higher power that knows all. It teaches that humility and devotion are the key to acquiring genuine wisdom. Once, in a vast and prosperous kingdom, there ruled an emperor named Rajendra. He was a man of immense power and wealth, respected by all who knew him. But despite his greatness, Rajendra was restless. He believed that knowledge was the key to ultimate power and peace, and he spent his days accumulating books, scholars, and scrolls of ancient wisdom. One day, Rajendra heard of a sage who lived in the mountains, known not for his words, but for his profound silence and wisdom. The emperor, intrigued, decided to visit this sage, thinking that if he could learn from him, his kingdom would grow even more powerful and his mind even sharper. Accompanied by his royal guard, Rajendra embarked on the long journey to the sage's humble hermitage. After several days of arduous travel through dense forests and rocky paths, they reached the mountaintop where the sage lived in complete solitude. The sage sat under a tree, his eyes closed in deep meditation. Rajendra, as always, was quick to speak. He walked up to the sage and boomed, "I am Rajendra, the emperor of this land. I have come to learn from you. I am already the wisest ruler in the world, but I seek more knowledge." The sage did not open his eyes or respond. He remained in silence, as calm as the mountain winds. Rajendra, undeterred, repeated his words. But still the sage said nothing. Frustrated and growing impatient, Rajendra demanded, "I came all the way here to hear your wisdom. Why do you remain silent?" Finally, the sage opened his eyes and motioned to Rajendra to sit beside him. With a deep sigh, the emperor sat down, his mind full of questions, but his heart filled with pride. The sage then raised his hand and pointed to the sky. Dark clouds began to form, and a violent storm swept across the mountain. Winds howled, rain poured, and thunder rumbled loudly. Rajendra, drenched and bewildered, looked around for shelter. But the sage remained calm, sitting silently in the middle of the storm. Rajendra yelled above the howling wind, "What is the meaning of this storm? Why are you showing me this chaos?" The sage calmly pointed to a small tree nearby. Though the tree was being battered by the wind and rain, it bent with the force of the storm but did not break. It swayed and struggled, but it remained standing. Rajendra, exhausted and confused, asked, "What is the lesson here? Why are you showing me this tree?" The sage replied, "You, Rajendra, are like the storm, powerful, loud, and destructive. But this tree is like true wisdom. It does not resist the storm. It bends and adapts. Knowledge that does not humble itself before the divine is like this storm. It causes chaos and destruction. True wisdom, like the tree, surrenders itself to the higher truth. It is only through this surrender that you can find peace." As the storm subsided and the sun broke through the clouds, Rajendra sat in silence, his mind opening to the sage's words. For the first time, he understood that knowledge and power, when not aligned with humility and devotion, were empty. True wisdom came not from the mind, but from a heart that surrendered to the divine. From that day, Rajendra returned to his kingdom, not as the proud ruler who sought power, but as a wise and humble leader who guided his people with love, compassion, and respect for the higher truths of the universe. True wisdom does not lie in the pride of knowledge or power, but in surrendering oneself to the divine. Knowledge without humility is like a storm, destructive and fleeting. True wisdom is found in bending like the tree, with humility and devotion to the higher power.